everybody. Today we're going to be talking about something that affects most of us, at least here in the United States, and that not nearly of us know about, and that's water fluoridation. So this is one of those topics that you're not really on the fence on if you know about. I feel like if you're aware of the subject, you're sort of a part of the crowd that thinks that we should get rid of the practice of fluoridating our water, or you're a part of the crowd that thinks that it's super beneficial and that and it's done in a completely benign manner. The same two kind of crowds that exist over a lot of these issues today in terms of things that the government is doing. But anyway, this is for people that perhaps don't know a lot about what's going on with water fluoridation, and I just wanted to throw a few things together for you guys to look at, and then hopefully you'll go out and do your own research and decide whether or not you want to be ingesting this toxic substance into your body or allowing your family members or your children to ingest it. So the first thing we're going to look at is an overview that's done by the Fluoride Action Network, which is a great resource for this kind of stuff. Definitely check them out. All of these links, by the way, that we're going to look at today are going to be available in the show description. So here's the Fluoride Action Network's overview. Water fluoridation is the practice of adding industrial-grade fluoride chemicals to water for the purpose of preventing tooth decay. One of the little-known facts about this practice is that the United States, which fluoridates over 70% of its water supplies, has more people drinking fluoridated water than the rest of the world combined. Most developed nations, including all of Japan and 97% of Western Europe, do not fluoridate their water. In the United States, the Oral Health Division of the Center for Disease Control hails fluoridation as one of the top 10 health achievements of the 20th century. However, comprehensive data from the World Health Organization reveals that there is no discernible difference in tooth decay between the minority of Western nations that fluoridate water and the majority that do not. In fact, the tooth decay rates in many non-fluoridated countries are now lower than the tooth decay rates in fluoridated ones. As it is becoming increasingly clear, fluoridating water supplies is an outdated, unnecessary, and dangerous relic from a 1950s public health culture that viewed mass distribution of chemicals much differently than scientists do today. The few nations that still fluoridate their water should end the practice. So next we're going to look at a couple of questions posed by the Fluoride Action Network's frequently asked questions. So the first one is, what makes fluoride different from other water treatment chemicals? All water treatment chemicals, with the exception of fluoride, are added to make drinking water safe and pleasant to consume. Fluoride is the only chemical added to treat the people who consume the water, rather than the water itself. Fluoridating water supplies can thus fairly be described as a form of mass medication, which is why most European countries have rejected the practice. The next question is, do we need fluoride? Well, let's take a look. No, it is now well established that fluoride is not an essential nutrient. This means that no human disease, including tooth decay, will result from a deficiency of fluoride. Fluoridating water supplies is therefore different than adding iodine to salt. Unlike fluoride, iodine is an essential nutrient. The body needs iodine to ensure proper functioning of the thyroid gland. No such necessity exists for fluoride. So, we're finding that there's not really that many benefits. Are there any side effects or negative effects? And you'll find, if you haven't been paying attention, that even Harvard, of all places, has been coming out with some studies linking fluoride to some very bad negative effects, I would say. And there's multiple of them that have come out over the last several years. This one from a few years ago, being written about in the Huffington Post, talks about the study that confirms the link between fluoride and reduced children's IQs. Imagine that. And as we go down here, it also says, studies have repeatedly linked fluoride to reduced IQ and brain damage. There are so many scientific studies showing the direct toxic effects of fluoride on your body, it's truly remarkable that it's not considered a scientific consensus by now. Despite the evidence against it, fluoride is still added to 70% of U.S. public drinking water supplies. Now, here's another interesting tidbit that will kind of resonate with some of you after reading that or seeing what we've just seen. And this is from Yahoo News a couple years ago. Researchers say Western IQs dropped 14 points over the last century. A new study from researchers in Europe claims that the average IQ in Western nations dropped by a staggering 14.1 points over the last century. And we've been fluoridating our water here for about 70 years now. So, this next little bit here is from a chemo-free survivor's health blog. It's called Chris Beat Cancer. This is actually a really cool blog, but one thing that he did that I really like was a little comprehensive post here on how fluoride ended up being put into our water. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and read a little bit for you guys. Around 1945, local water treatment facilities began to add sodium fluoride to our water supply. The first thing you should know is that the fluoride they put in our drinking water is not a pharmaceutical-grade additive. It is an industrial waste byproduct. As aluminum production increased in the first half of the 20th century, it became necessary to find somewhere to put the fluoride. Manufacturers could no longer get away with dumping it into rivers or landfills because it was poisoning the crops and making livestock sick. Francis Frary, chief scientist for Alcoa, had an idea. He commissioned Gerald Cox at the Mellon Institute to conduct research regarding the benefits of adding fluoride to the water supply. The Mellon Institute has frequently hired big business to produce research that supported their industries, and for several decades they produced research showing that asbestos was safe and did not cause cancer. We all know how asbestos turned out, right? Anyway, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit here and show you guys as well that PR master Edward Bernays, also known as the father of spin, as they say here, managed the PR campaign, or was one of the ones that sort of marketed this idea of fluoridating the water supply to the United States. And you can see one of his ads here where he's advertising Lucky Strike cigarettes as recommended by over 20,000 physicians. We all know how that one turned out as well. Anyway, I just wanted to leave you guys with 10 quick fluoride facts by Dr. Mercola. I found this little list here pretty good. And these are just things, like I said, I wanted to sort of plant a seed. If you watch this and feel compelled, please go look into this some more. Click on the links that I've provided. Do your own research. Find out whether or not, this is something that you want to be ingesting, like I said, because there are ways that you can avoid it. Anyway, let's get down to the facts here. Number 1, most developed countries do not fluoridate their water. Number 2, fluoridated countries do not have less tooth decay than non-fluoridated countries. Number 3, fluoride affects many tissues in your body besides your teeth. Number 4, fluoridation is not a natural process. Number 5, 40% of American teenagers show visible signs of fluoride overexposure. Number 6, for infants, fluoridated water provides no benefits, only risks. Number 7, fluoride supplements have never been approved by the FDA. Number 8, fluoride is the only medicine added to public water. Number 9, swallowing fluoride provides little benefit to teeth. And number 10, disadvantaged communities are the most disadvantaged by fluoride. Just to get into that one a little bit more, I'll read what he has here. Fluoride toxicity is exacerbated by conditions that occur much more frequently in low-income areas. This includes nutrition deficiencies, infant formula consumption, kidney disease, and diabetes. Anyway, all of this is sourced on his website, and like I said, the links will be available wherever this video is available. So I hope I've inspired at least a few of you to go out and do your own research, find out what's being added to your water locally, and decide if that's something that you want to be putting into your body or not. So keep your eyes peeled to the Vibin Higher blog. We're going to have stuff like this coming out a lot in 2016. I hope you guys had an incredible New Year's Eve, and I'm wishing everybody a happy and blessed 2016.